Coming up on A Moment of Wisdom, she's been doing this for 30 years. She has sat with people at their lowest and told them the truth, not the comfortable truth, the real one. Today, she's brought something new, not just insight, a practice, something she says every single one of us needs right now, whether we know it or not. Before you meet her, hear her.
Listening is the conversation that's already going on inside of you before anybody opens their mouth. You've got a thought about it, a judgment about it, a feeling about it, a memory about it. So when someone says something and you hear it, it gets inside and it triggers a memory or a response or a reaction. And then you make the person who's speaking or the thing you hear responsible for what you do.
Before you know who she is, you already know she's right. That's Iyanla Vanzant right here on A Moment of Wisdom. Welcome to A Moment of Wisdom. I'm Wisdom Martin. Dr. Iyanla Vanzant is a New York Times best-selling author, a spiritual life coach, and one of the most trusted voices in this country when it comes to healing, truth-telling, and the kind of work that most of us would rather not do. Her brand new book, 9 years in the making, is called Spiritual Hygiene, a practical path for clean living, inner authority, and divine freedom. We had a great conversation about it, and what she gave us, I think you'll be coming back to this one for a while. Let's get into it. First of all, tell me about your book, your brand new book that you're doing a tour, and you're going to be talking to people about your latest project. Let's talk about that first.
My first full-length book in 9 years, Spiritual Hygiene, a practical path for clean living, inner authority, and divine freedom. Because I think that with all of the upheaval and chaos that's going on in the world, we need to keep ourselves clean, so that day by day we can approach what we're facing, what we're hearing, what we're seeing with a clean heart and an open mind.
Now, Dr. Vanzant, that sounds great in theory, but as you just said, we are going through a lot right now. We're talking government layoffs. Every time we turn on the TV, there's something happening, and it's all over the country, all over the world. It is a lot. And some people are feeling overwhelmed. They feel like they don't know what to do next. They don't know what they should do next. So what should people know how to respond to these different things? And just life in general at this point.
Yeah, well, let me just say this, fear, because there's a lot of fear. But fear can only reference the past. Fear does not open you for the future. And what spiritual hygiene does, clearing your mind, clearing your spirit, clearing your heart every day. What spiritual hygiene does is it gives you an opportunity to create a vision for the future. Because right now, most people are stuck in what happened and have lost sight of what is possible. Even with everything that's going on, it's very purposeful. And the purpose is to teach us how to do it differently. We've been so dependent on external stuff that we have bypassed the power of what's going on inside of us internally.
Wow. Okay. All right. And I also heard you say that 7 minutes a day, you should spend some quality time. Explain that. Because this sounds like a great idea as well. I'm going to try this, but I'm going to see if I can actually do it. So go ahead. I'll let you explain.
We're always on the devices.
Yes.
We're always listening. We're in everybody's business. Well, 7 minutes. 7 minutes of stillness, silence. No phone, no music, no anything. 7 minutes, 3 times a day for 21 consecutive days. And in that 7 minutes, what you're doing is regulating your nervous system. What you're doing is teaching your mind to calm down, to slow down. You could do it in the morning when you first wake up. You can do it in the evening just before you go to bed. You've got to find that third time sometimes in the middle of the day. Because we have become overstimulated, which is what makes us overwhelmed.
Right.
7 minutes, 3 times a day, no phone, no music, no talking, no, just sit down. My father used to say to me, sit down, shut up, and listen.
And it worked, right? It worked. It worked.
Yeah,
it worked out for you. What do you think the biggest challenge is when it comes to people these days, in addition to being overstimulated? What are some of the biggest challenges? You and I talked about this because a lot of problems with men is our communication skills are not the greatest. So we got a lot of stuff going on as men. And so what are your thoughts on that?
First of all, learn how to breathe. This is across the board: men, women, children, dogs, the fruit trees. Learn how to use your lungs, fill your diaphragm, let your cells get oxygen. People are exhausted and overwhelmed and tired because they're not breathing. They're sipping air. That's number one. Number two, tell the truth. Don't tell a story. Don't tell what you think. Don't tell what you heard. Tell the truth. This happened and it frightened me. When I saw that, I got angry. But we are in this performance thing of saying what we think is acceptable or what other people want to hear. We don't tell the truth. And that's why we're not hearing the truth. A lot of what's coming at us is not the truth at all. It's someone else's concept or idea. Learn how to breathe, tell the truth, and then become self-aware.
Self-aware.
What do you do? How do you do it? Why do you do it? And what are you getting as a result? This is true for men and really true for men because I think what happens to men is sometimes there's no space for them to really show up, so they don't tell the truth about what they do.
She says most of us don't actually listen. We're already talking inside. Coming up, what that's costing you and what Iyanla Vanzant says you can do about it.
First of all, learn how to breathe. This is across the board: men, women, children, dogs, the fruit trees. Learn how to use your lungs, fill your diaphragm, let your cells get oxygen. People are exhausted and overwhelmed and tired because they're not breathing. They're sipping air. That's number one. Number two, tell the truth. Don't tell a story. Don't tell what you think. Don't tell what you heard. Tell the truth. This happened and it frightened me. When I saw that, I got angry. But we are in this performance thing of saying what we think is acceptable or what other people want to hear. We don't tell the truth. And that's why we're not hearing the truth. A lot of what's coming at us is not the truth at all. It's someone else's concept or idea. Learn how to breathe, tell the truth, and then become self-aware.
Self-aware.
What do you do? How do you do it? Why do you do it? And what are you getting as a result? This is true for men and really true for men because I think what happens to men is sometimes there's no space for them to really show up, so they don't tell the truth about what they do. They tell the truth about they tell what they thought or what they meant, but learn how to tell the truth. Become self-aware. And finally, this is huge. We have to make a distinction between hearing and listening. This is what happens for a lot of people.
Okay.
Hearing is the sound that comes in your ear, and then the brain interprets what it means. Listening is the conversation that's already going on inside of you before anybody opens their mouth. You've got a thought about it, a judgment about it, a feeling about it, a memory about it. So when someone says something and you hear it, it gets inside and it triggers a memory or a response or a reaction. And then you make the person who's speaking or the thing you hear responsible for what you do.
Wow.
No, we have to make a distinction between hearing and listening and clean up what we're listening to on the inside. That's the purpose of spiritual hygiene.
Okay. All right. And because I often tell my kids they need to listen to me because I'm a parent as well. And I heard you say this. I thought this was very deep. You said you infected your children with your dysfunction. Explain what that actually means.
Okay. Growing up, I grew up in a time when you didn't talk about how you feel. I was emotionally illiterate. I didn't know the distinction between frustration and anxiety, disappointment. I didn't know what to feel when I felt betrayed or when I was angry. I grew up in a time when children were seen and not heard. you didn't have a right to be angry. You didn't have a right to talk back, to roll your eyes. My grandmother used to say, "Are you rolling your eyes at me?" I said, "Her back is to me. How does she know what I'm doing with my eyeballs?"
Oh, I remember those days, doctor. Oh, I remember those days. And I also remember the consequences. But carry on.
Okay. You didn't get an opportunity to express what you were thinking, express what you were feeling. And so I grew up with a lot of suppressed feelings about myself, I grew up in a time when, as a woman of color, both an African American and an indigenous woman, because my grandmother is an indigenous woman, I felt worthless, valueless. Uh, Only my biggest worth was what I could give to somebody or what I could do for somebody. I grew up as a child that experienced sexual violence and physical abuse, and I never cleaned that up. So the defense mechanisms and the protective mechanisms that I developed just to get through the day, that's what I taught my girls.
Hmm.
That's what I taught my son. I infected them with the unhealed parts of me. And then when I saw it in them, I'm trying, oh, you can be anything you want to be. Really? Well, demonstrate to me how you do that. Because I didn't grow up believing I could be anything I wanted to be. I had clear limitations and clear boundaries that I wouldn't move beyond. But then I expected my children to do something different. And they could only do what I taught them. And I learned that in watching how they live their life because Iyanla, me, this person,
Hmm.
is not who raised my children. Who raised my children was the broken little black girl who grew up in poverty and dysfunction. That's who raised my children.
Wow. All right. Spiritual hygiene. We'll leave it
Yeah.
there for right there. So tell people where they can get spiritual hygiene anywhere the books are sold.
Anywhere books are sold, you can get it as a book, you can get it as an audio version. I encourage people to get the book so you can write notes, and there are exercises in there that I'm not going to leave you hanging. I'm telling you, okay, if you got this going on, this is what you have to do to fix it. If you feel like this may be why, and this is what you have to do. For example, I do a whole chapter on trauma because right now trauma is the buzzword.
Hmm.
But there are things that we experienced in life that we didn't understand. The trauma of poverty, the trauma of neglect, the poverty, the trauma of loneliness, the trauma of abuse. And how do you clean those things out of your system? Because spiritual hygiene is the daily, consistent maintenance of your mind, your heart, your body, and your spirit. So when these things come up, you may be reacting. You think you're reacting to a gossiping coworker, and
Hmm.
what you're really reacting to is something that happened 25, 30 years ago. So in spiritual hygiene, I give you not just the problem, but the prescription to heal it.
All right.
And that's what we do.
Well, listen, thank you so much for your time. I always feel smarter after I talk to you or hear you speak. And and I'm going to get spiritual hygiene and take it home. I'm going to get one for my wife, my oldest daughter, my son, my youngest daughter, and we'll see. Oh, I'll get one for me too. I guess I need one
Yeah,
too.
yeah, yeah. And read it together.
Read it. Oh, that's a
Read
good idea. Read it together.
and tell the truth about you got to, as a parent, because I have a chapter in there on spiritual hygiene for parenting.
Okay.
So you got to be willing to hear the truth of how your children experienced you. And that could be hard.
Got you. Okay. Dr. Vanzant, thank you so much for your time. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you for
And
having
continued
me.
success as always.
Okay.
All right. Be blessed.
Coming up, a note to the young person I used to be, right here on A Moment of Wisdom. I'm Wisdom Martin here, going one-on-one with the incomparable Jasmine Guy.
I'm great. I
Good,
like
good.
that name, Wisdom.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That came from my dad. I was his firstborn, and it was his dad's name, and he was the firstborn. It came out of the Bible.
Really?
Yeah, it came out of the Bible.
Yes. So you're one of the third generation of wisdom.
Yes, and my
I
son's
thought
name
it was like your rapper name or something.
right. No, 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 no. I have no skills like that. And my son's name is Wisdom. How about that?
Oh, that's beautiful. I love it.
A lot of people see any successful person or someone they even perceive to be successful, and they are not familiar with the journey, the ups and downs, the struggles. They just see the finished product. So what would you say to the people who are out there in whatever field they're in, trying to get to whatever they're trying to get to overcome or to keep going or to be persistent?
You learn how, well, because I come from theater and I was a dancer and then I was in musical theater, but the discipline of theater is that you don't bring your personal problems to rehearsal, to a performance, you know. It's a show must go on mentality.
Right.
But in having that muscle and that ability to do that, at times I don't deal with the problem that I am not bringing to work. And that's been a little tricky learning how to do that. Like, oh, I don't have a show tonight. I have to deal with this. Because I realized it was also an easier way not to feel, you know. But of course, we still have sickness and death and loss and divorce and the birth of a baby and in our real lives. But sometimes our acting lives aren't reflecting our real lives, you know. There were many times on A Different World when Whitley was getting married to Dwayne Wayne, I was breaking up with my boyfriend of 5 years. Just saying, it doesn't always go together like that. And that's why it's called acting. Right. Because you have to create a world that you believe so they can believe in that world that we're creating. I don't know if that answers your questions, but I know what you mean. Like when you see someone who appears to have such a perfect life, it's hard to know what it is that they struggle with. And I think it helps people to know a little reality about your real life, but not all of it. Right. Because it is our job to pretend.
The acting, from being an actress from the time you started to today, what has changed or what's different or what's evolved in your mind?
I love the roles that I'm getting offered at this point in my life because they're more character roles. When I was younger, it was limited to the way I looked and playing a girlfriend of, you know, and now I get to play these really quirky or outrageous or evil kind of characters, and it's very interesting. I'm having a great time as an actor. I just played opposite Cynthia Erivo in a show called Poker Face. The episode hasn't aired yet. And I play her mother, and I'm so mean to her. And I love Cynthia Erivo. I was just like, I gotta do good, and you know. And I don't know, it's those moments for me that I'm loving right now at this point in my life. I love ensemble work, as I said, and I was on a show called Harlem with Megan Good, and another great experience. Yeah, I'm very happy when I'm working, especially when it's good and all around you can see is all of that talent and energy and fresh love, you know, love of the art, love of the craft. So it's been very stimulating in the last like 5 years of the jobs that I've been offered and the jobs that I've, you know, auditioned for. And I love the independent film world. I think that's booming. You know, I live in Atlanta. Right. So it's, you know, there are always productions going on there now. And I didn't anticipate this though when I moved back there about 12 years ago, that there was this cinematic boom happening down there. So many movies are filming there and longtime series. I mean, I did Vampire Diaries for one episode, and 8 years later, I was still on that show. I didn't even know it would So that and The Walking Dead has been there for a long time. It's nice that we're not just going to have to live in LA or New York to work. That was the norm for forever, you know. So I like that I can live in Atlanta, work and travel and be wherever I want to be with these jobs. So I just hope that people continue to hire me. I'm very good to work with. I'm very professional.
Yes.
I don't like calling it work. I do get paid, but I do enjoy what I do. I'm grateful to do something I love.
Right.
Every week on A Moment of Wisdom, someone sits in this chair and reads a letter, not to us, but to themselves, the version of themselves that needed to hear it most. So before we ask others, I'm going to start with myself and start like this. To young wisdom, you don't know it yet, but your life is going to take you on an adventure, an amazing journey that you can't even imagine. The things that you're nervous about today, the confidence, the preparation, the actually being seen, well, all those things will eventually become some of your greatest strengths. The speeches, the hours that you spend in the library in high school, reading all those Sports Illustrateds all by yourself, eventually it will pay off. The long nights at the campus radio station while everybody is out partying, going to football games, and you're working, it will pay off. The long days and the weekends at the local TV station, practicing, shooting, editing, writing, reading the teleprompter, messing it all up, having other anchors scream at you, all of it will be worth it. The rejection letters, the jobs that you didn't get, some of the jobs that you did get but didn't work because it wasn't meant for you, it wasn't a good fit, and that's okay. Just know that there will be setbacks, there will be disappointments, and then there will be moments that you will doubt yourself, but you'll get through all of that, and every challenge will teach you something extremely valuable. Just keep practicing, keep telling your stories, and one day you'll be speaking to crowds of people. Yes, that shy guy will be speaking to crowds of people. You'll be interviewing all these different important figures. And also remember this, don't spend too much time worrying about what others think about you and wanting approval, because most people are busy trying to figure out their own lives while they're all in your business. The confidence that you're looking for doesn't arrive all at once. It comes from doing hard things one step at a time. So stay curious, keep learning, and remember that the qualities that make you different are often the same qualities that help you succeed. Stay in the moment, enjoy the ride, enjoy your friends, enjoy your family, and one day you'll look back at all of this and realize that the shy kid from Jackson State had far more potential than he ever knew about. So that's the letter to myself. I'm going to leave you with this. What is the one thing you could clean up inside yourself starting today? Spiritual Hygiene by Dr. Iyanla Vanzant, available now wherever books are sold. Get the book, do the exercises, tell the truth. I'm Wisdom Martin. Be well. We'll see you next week.